So when we come to this operating system structure, how the structure is going to behave, what are various things that your operating system is going to do in a computer. It can be a mobile, it can be a computer, it can be a laptop or any device, it can be a tablet also. Anything will have something called as operating system. So if you take a mobile or a tablet or anything, we'll be having something like Android or iOS. These are the most common things. And when we come to the systems, that is desktop or laptop, the most common thing is Windows is the most common operating system. The next operating system is going to be Linux, Mac, or Unix. Those are the common operating systems that we have. So here, when we come to this common operating systems, what are the things that we have? These operating systems are going to play a major role in any system or in any computer. Okay, so that is what we are going to see. So the main thing that we are going to concentrate in this chapter is operating system services. That's what we will try to see today. What are the various services of an operating system? Then next we have something like user operations for system interface. Okay, operating system user interfaces. What are the various interfaces that a operating system have? Then we have something like system calls. Then type of system calls, operating system structure. So these are the 5 topics that we are going to study in this chapter. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So first one, as I've said, today we'll try to see operating system services. So when we take a operating system, when we take the operating system as a whole, we'll be having so many things inside the operating system. Hardware is what we call it as all the parts of a computer. For this, we'll be having so many things connected to each other. So user is the one who is going to work, and user is the one who is going to create the program. They are going to be on something like user interfaces, for which they'll be going to something like system calls. Then from system calls, we'll be having so many things: program controls, input output controls, that is all the input output devices, file systems, communication, error management, resources, auditing, security, and protection. So these are the main services of an operating system. So we are going to concentrate on these things now. Whatever we are able to see the services over here. Those things is what we are going to concentrate mainly for today's class. So we are going to see how the programs are going to be controlled. What are various types of operating systems? Then what are input output devices? How to control the input output devices like keyboard, mouse, printers, monitors, all the input output devices. If it is a mobile touch screen, all the things. Then file system. All the files are organized in an operating system. How the communication is going to happen. Error management. If any error has come, how the operating system will manage the things. Resources. What are the various resources of an operating system? Auditing and accounting. Then security and protection. Okay. So if we move to the next slide, the same thing I have listed out here. What are various things, what are various things which comes under the services of an operating system. Okay. Just we'll see one after the other. Okay. First one, the first and foremost thing is user interface. User interface will be at the top panel. If you see, the user interface will be connected to the user programs. Okay, so we'll see what are various types of users and how the user interface is going to be. So first thing is, when we come to the user interface, we'll be having 3 types: command line interface, batch based interface, and graphical user interface. Now, everybody know DOS operating system? Have you people seen DOS operating system?
No, sir.
And I don't think you people have worked on DOS, because for you the syllabus is not there. But previous to your batch, prior to your batches, there was included in the system DOS operating system. This DOS operating system is nothing but it is completely a command line based. I can show you how this DOS operating system will be. Just I'll stop the screen. I'll share the screen. I'll show you. Just go to this one. Just click on start and type something like CMD. All are able to see the screen, right? Type something like CND. Then it will open something like command prompt. Now I've clicked this command prompt. You can see a black and white window.
Yes, sir.
So this is what we called as command prompt, which in other terms is also called as DOS. It is a disk operating system. So here what happens is, here you can see something like C users SSPKK. That is nothing but the username that I have created in my computer.
Local disk C.
Local disk, yeah. Suppose if I want to see all the list of the files in C, okay, I need to type a command called as dir. So these are all the files that I'm having in my C drive. Same thing if I go to my computer and click on C, you can see the list of files here also. So here what is happening, the difference between this and that is, here I'm able to see by graphical things. By using support of mouse, I'm able to get in graphical pattern. Clear? Same thing here in command, what is happening, I have typed a command and it has executed the command. Got the difference between both the things? Able to see the
Yes,
screen,
sir.
right, everybody? So here what is
Yes, sir.
happening is, the difference is, this black and white window is what we called as uh, excuse me, DOS operating system, or it is a command operating system. It is a command operating system, whereas the Windows part is what we call as graphical operating system. Okay, got the difference, both of you? I mean, got the difference between both the things, everybody?
Sir, if you want to find in other disks, so how we should write the command, sir?
Yeah, I'll show you that also. I'll show you. See here. Uh, I've come to the C drive, right? Just type D colon enter. It is open the D drive. Again type dir. It will show the files in drive D.
Okay, sir.
So everything, what are the basic things? If I want to copy a file, I have a command called copy. Okay. If I want to create a file, I can use a command called copy con. So like this, there are many commands. Okay. Whatever things we are using mouse here, all those things by graphical things, whatever we are using here, all those things are done using commands. That is why it is called as command line interface. Got the difference?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So command line interface is nothing but all the things are done using command base. All the things are using something like commands only. Graphical means, we can take best example is Windows. All the things are done using graphical base. Command line is, we have to type the command and we'll get the output. So you can see various types of interfaces. Then one more thing that we have here is batch based interface. Batch based interface is nothing but, if you can remember, we have something like batch operating system. Remember that, everybody? When we were seeing the types of operating system, we have seen something called as batch operating system. Okay, so whatever things we are trying to do, all the things are going to be in the form of batches only. Okay, so here anything that we are going to execute, any statement that I want to execute, will be executed in the form of batches only. So that is a interface that a batch operating system is going to have. So it will be going for the groups. Like suppose if I execute a command, the command will be done for a group of things, or group of systems, or group of based on the things that I am using. So that is why it is called as batch based interface. So these are we'll be having three interfaces. One is command line, batch based, and graphical user. Three interfaces that we are going to have. In fact, we can take it as operating system, command line operating system, graphical user operating system, and batch operating system. Okay, done. Fine. We'll move to the next one. Next, what we have is program execution. If you can see the bottom part, that was the first one in the services. Program execution is the first part. So, thing is, you have done many programs in computers based on C language or C++ or data structures, DBMS also. When you have done a program, when you have typed a program, you are compiling and executing the program. All might have executed programs, right? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
I don't
Yes,
think
sir.
there will not be anybody who did not execute in, especially in
Yes.
our college. So these programs, when they are getting executed, normally if you come to C or C++, you might have done in developer C. And if you come to DBMS, you might have done in MySQL. Okay. So these things, whatever you have done in MySQL or developer C, you have typed a program and you are executing the program, compiling and executing the program. So for compilation, the program requires some memory. The program has to require some memory and it has to execute a program. So now you might have declared a variables. So variables requires the memory. So if that memory has to be preserved at some place, then we need to occupy the memory. That is, the program has to interact with the hard disk or RAM. That is hardware components. So for this program to interact, we need something called as operating system. So operating system, the first priority is the system will be able to load the programs into the memory. Whatever programs we have done, it will load into the memory, and from memory it will run the programs and execute the programs. Clear? That is the first duty of operating system, to run whatever programs. Now, if you take mobiles, I mean, if you take mobile Android, you are opening a program. Suppose if you open a Zoom in mobile, so there what is happening when you are opening the Zoom, the program has to be opened over there. Program has to open, program has to execute, and it has to run. So for that also you require some memory. So for that we are using operating system Android. So the major role of operating system is it has to run the apps or it has to run the programs. This is the first duty or first service of an operating system. Okay. Then when we come to the next services, it will take the input and output operations. I'm typing something from the keyboard or I'm moving my mouse on the screen. It is moving on the screen. How it is able to move, or when I'm moving a mouse, how the mouse is moving on the screen? By means of operating system only, by means of a software called as operating system. Not only for input, for output also. If I have to print a document, it will be connected to a printer. If I have to display something, it will be connected to the monitor. So all these things are what we call as input and output operations. A program running for a program to run, we require input operations as well as output operations, without which the program cannot run successfully. Then we have something like file system manipulations. That is, if I want to store some data, if I want to create a file, how we are creating a file? Suppose in Windows, if I want to create a file, how we are able to create a file? I hope everybody might have created a file in developer C and
Yes.
saved it. Okay, so you have opened developer C, open file, new, typed a program, and first before compilation you are saving a file, right? Where do you have saved the
Yes,
file?
sir.
Where you might have saved the file? You have created a folder with your name. Yes or no? You might have created
Yes,
folder with
sir.
your name, and in that folder only you have saved it. Most of the people. So that file system management is what we call the services of an operating system. It will create a file, it can delete a file, it can manipulate a file, it can rename a file. Many things can be done. That is why it is called as file system manipulation. Okay, the program can read, the program can write, program can delete, search, list. It can give the permissions, it can deny the permissions. All these things are done by operating system only. Okay, ma? Then next important service, communication. I am communicating to you people, and you people are able to listen to me. And if I ask you anything, you people are responding back. That is what we call as communication. Okay. So when I am talking, you are listening. If you are talking, I am able to listen. Both the way the communication is happening. But here exactly what happens is in an operating system, my keyboard is there. I'm typing something on the keyboard. Where it has to go? It has to go to CPU, it has to process, and whatever I have typed, it has to be displayed on the monitor. All this is all happening by means of communication. I'm moving my mouse. The mouse movement is visible on the screen. How this is happening? By means of communication. That is, my mouse is interacting with the CPU, and CPU is in fact interacting with the monitor. So that is what is called as communications. The process may exchange information on the same computer between a network. If I want to save the file, I'm saving the file. And if I want to transfer, suppose on mobile, most of us will be doing, will be if I want to send a message or if I want to transfer some information, we are using WhatsApp nowadays. So what is happening? It is sending a file from one mobile to another mobile. That is also been happening using something called as communication. Okay, sending the file, receiving the files, sending the information, receiving the informations, or sending a message, receiving the informations. All those things are what we call as communications. And this communication will happen through something called as packets. That is, packet is nothing but suppose I want to send one file which is of 50 KB. So 50 KB will not transfer as it is at all. What it will do is this 50 KB will be divided into small packets. Okay, like a 5 KB, 5 KB, 5 KB, 5 KB. Let us assume this might not be exactly. I'm giving you an example. 50 KB file, if it has to be sent, what it will do, it will divide into 5 KB, 5 KB, 5 KB. Like this small packets it will divide. Those packets are transferred over network. Okay, complete file is not transferred at a time. It will divide the things into a small packets, and the packets have been transferred. That is why it is called as packets are moved by operating system. So this is how the data is going to transfer the informations. Okay, then next important service, error detections. There might be many errors occurring in a operating system, in a computer or in a mobile. Day to day will be coming across. Sometimes it will get stuck, some it will get hanged up, or whatever I'm typing or whatever I'm trying to use, it will be slow. There might be many things. So those things are also being handled by operating systems. Okay, the operating system has to be constantly aware of possible errors. There might be error occur. If I do this, error might occur. Okay, so there it will be assuming, it will be predicting, it will be constantly predicting error will occur or not, error will occur or not. If I do this, will error occur? If I do this, will error occur? If I do this, will error occur? So it will be constantly predicting whether any errors are expected to occur, anything is expecting to occur, or any kind of things are going to occur. So it will be constantly. It may occur in CPU, it may occur in memory devices, it may occur in input devices, or any other devices which are connected to a computer. And for each type of error, operating systems should take appropriate action and ensure correct and consistent computer. That is, any error which is occurring, it has to take necessary action, necessary step to overcome those errors. Okay. And debugging facility, debugging is nothing but, suppose you might have done a program, you might have done a program in C language, so there might be a syntax errors. So what you are doing for those syntax errors, wherever the error occurred, which line the error has occurred, you are tracing out which line the error occurred, and you are rectifying that error. That rectification is what we call as debugging. Debugging in a program. So operating system also will take care of debugging. That is where the error might occur, at which line or which statement the error has occurred. There it has to go and rectify the things. That is what we call as debugging facilities.